What up, what up? It's Ace OG. Back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is going to be Men Sacrifice Happiness for Marriage. Admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers that subscribe to my channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves. Let's get into it. So why do I say that men will sacrifice their happiness for marriage? So to break this down a little bit, as far as like some key points, when it comes to how men treat marriage, how men think about marriage. And I'm just gonna do a disclaimer right here. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna maybe not cause some triggering with women, but any woman that's watching this video, you gotta understand that men think about marriage totally different than you do, like totally. And there's nothing wrong with that because men and women are different. So at the end of the day, if you're married right now, the guy is the one that proposed to you, not vice versa, right? So at the very least, he felt that, you was worthy enough and he loved you enough that he wanted to spend the rest of your life with you, right? So what I'm gonna say about marriage, as far as like how men think about marriage, is no hit on you. This is just the way we are. This is the way we're wired. Most of us, you know what I'm saying? I know there's gonna be some outliers. There's gonna be some people that may not think the same. But in general, this is how men normally think about marriage and how they sacrifice themselves for marriage, right? So for one, we don't grow up thinking about marriage. We just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know when I was a child, being with somebody for the rest of my life was even in the forefront of me, right? Now, of course, before puberty, boys don't even think about girls. You know what I'm saying? We think they're we don't like girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know when I was growing up, I had a lot of female friends, right? And when I had birthday parties, a lot of my female friends would come over to my party, and I would have like a 10% to 80% ratio. Like most of my friends that come to my party be 80% girls and 10% boys. And I'm sitting here like, I wish I had a lot more of my homeboys that came to see me, you know what I'm saying? But they're running the streets during that time, you know what I'm saying? So, it's not that they didn't care about me, they didn't like me and everything, whatever. It's just like, the project is different, man, you know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times I would have a lot of girls at my birthday parties. I would be so mad because I'm like, I want to play with my homeboys, not with these little girls, you know what I'm saying? But, that's neither here or there, you know what I'm saying? So, but once you reach puberty, even when guys reach puberty, a lot of times we still don't think about being with a woman for the rest of our lives. We don't. We think about dating, obviously, you know what I'm saying, and being intimate with women, but we don't think about long term, right? We don't think about, how things would be if we was with one woman forever. You know what I'm saying? And with women, I think it's the opposite, you know what I'm saying? Like, women are taught at a very early age about romance and about how it would be so wonderful to find your Prince Charming and to be able to be with that guy for the rest of your life and have children, have the white picket fence in the house and all these other things. So that particular, I don't want to say stereotype, but that thought process is put into women at a very early age, you know what I'm saying? And naturally women have a lot more emotions than men do, right? So when women see these things, when girls see these things, it basically it etches themselves in their brains. And this is literally the onset of how romance is a woman. That's why a lot of times when I talk to my two boys, I'm like, even if you got a girlfriend that come off to a certain degree a little bit masculine, at the end of the day, she still wants to be won over. She still wants some romance. She still wants the guy to dote over her. You know what I'm saying? So in any case, you know what I'm saying, that's just a little backdrop as far as like how we think about marriage. You know what I'm saying? Whether we think about it later on in life, we think about it early, but at the end of the day, we don't think the same way about marriage than y'all do, right? So once we get married, most guys, you know what I'm saying, I know a lot of Christian guys are like this, and I would say even guys that are not Christians, right? But I'm gonna talk about mainly just Christian guys. Well, as I'm just gonna make it in general, you know what I'm saying? Because I really believe that a lot of guys think this way. Women, you gotta understand that when a man gets on his knee and proposes to you, or however he proposes to you. I know a lot of women feel like they've been cheated out of a nice proposal because the guy may not have been on one knee. It may not have been a very extravagant thing when he proposed to you. He might have just walked up to you and just gave you the ring in a box and said, hey, here you go, you want to get married? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of women will feel disappointed in that, you know what I'm saying? But, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that even in a situation to where the guy didn't put a lot of thought in actually proposing to you, the fact that he went out and spent his own money to get you a ring and propose to you and actually ask you your hand in marriage, knowing that you're gonna be the only woman he stays with for the rest of his life and the only way he's gonna be intimate for the rest of his life. That is not an easy thing for guys to do, y'all. I'm telling you, it's not. It is not natural. It is not. I'm telling you, it's not natural. You know what I'm saying? It just isn't. It's not natural. I do understand that the Christian faith and some of these other faiths, you know what I'm saying, they practice monogamy, and you know, we're taught at a really early age, you know, especially from a religious standpoint, that you should not have multiple women. You should only be a one woman. But biology contradicts that. You know what I'm saying? Biology says that we want to have as much women as possible. You know what I'm saying? So we have to fight through those thought processes and our physical needs to sacrifice ourselves to be with you for the rest of our lives and not be with anybody else. Physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that. So when men do that, they're making a huge sacrifice for themselves, a huge sacrifice, and they understand this. You know what I'm saying? At least I would say most of them do. You know what I'm saying? I know there's some guys that may marry at a really early age, and you know, they think that this is what they want at the time, or they may do it because this is what their girlfriend wants. You know what I'm saying? I know some girlfriends that put a timetable on a guy, and you know, they're like, hey, the clock's ticking. You know what I'm saying? We've been together for about 2 years. Like, what's going to happen here? So the guy loves you. He's probably in love with you, but he's not necessarily ready for marriage. But because he fears of losing you, he basically, you know, concedes and gets you a ring and marries you. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying marriages like that don't work. I'm just saying, like, you know, like, that's not really organic to the guy to be forced, you know, to marry you. But even with doing that, that is still a huge sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? Because he loved you enough to where he did not want to lose you. And he pretty much told himself, you know what, even though I may not be financially ready for marriage, I may not be mentally ready for marriage, but this is the woman I want to be with, you know what I'm saying? And she can't wait. So I'm going to sacrifice myself to get this ring for this woman and marry her and make her happy. You know what I'm saying? Men do a big sacrifice, and I'm not saying that women don't either. I'm going to do another video to explain that as well. So, after we get married, right? And, you know, and we going through the motions, you know what I'm saying? Like, we start making a family, we start having kids, we have jobs, careers. Maybe you're the woman, maybe you're a housewife or something like that, right? And you hit a point in your marriage, let's say a year 4. You hit a point in your marriage at year 4 where, you know, the woman is not happy, the wife is not happy, right? And there's certain things that she expected you to do, or there's a certain way that she wanted you to be, and you're not conforming to what she wants you to be, right? And it's getting to her, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really messing with her. She's not happy at all. Actually, at this point, she almost has resentment for you because she doesn't understand how, you know, you can't change to what she wants you to be. And she's told you this verbally time and time again, right? I don't want you doing this. I want you to be like this. I want you to treat me this way. I don't want you to treat me that way. And, you know, and the husband is hearing you, right? But he's not conforming, you know what I'm saying? He may try, right? He may try to do these certain things, but what you're asking him to do may not be natural to him. So he has to make a huge change in how he thinks in order for him to change to where you want to be. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, the marriages can't work that way. I'm not saying that at all, because I've met plenty of husbands that have literally changed themselves and transformed themselves to make their wife happy. And it worked. And I've seen some guys, some husbands that have tried to do that, and they were miserable. And eventually it got to the point where they couldn't take it anymore and they wanted a divorce, unfortunately, right? But in saying that, if the woman is unhappy, right, and the guy is willing to change how he is as a person, right? To make that wife happy, that is a huge sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Husbands, men in general, you know what I'm saying? Even when you're dating a woman that you love, you know what I'm saying? But but mainly when it comes to being a husband and a wife, a lot of times, women will get at a point in their lives where they're progressing, maybe spiritually, mentally, and the guy is not staying with her, right? He's not moving in the same space that she is. So she wants him to level up. And I'm not saying that leveling up for a guy is not the goal. It should be all the time, right? But I have seen some situations to where like the guy literally was like was a certain way, and the woman wanted him to be the total opposite years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess in her mind she's like, well, I love him, and there's a lot of traits about him that I do love about him. I'm in love with him. I want him to marry me. I want to be married to him. But in the back of her mind, she's like, eventually, in a couple of years, I want him to change. I want him to change and be a certain way. And the husband's like, wait a minute, what the fuck? You met me and married me, accepted my hand in marriage just like I am right now. And I'm not saying that, that as you grow older, you should mature. I'm not saying that at all, because as you get older, you should mature. You shouldn't be the way you were at 20 when you're age 50. That's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? I've seen guys like that as well. They try to act like they're 20 and they're 50. It's ridiculous. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? So maturity is definitely a big issue when it comes to men. It really is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for men being mature. I'm all for that. But if you're a guy that's not necessarily romantic and she wants you to be almost like a romance novel guy, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy is not naturally like this. You know what I'm saying? But that's what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And the guy make a huge sacrifice to be that way, right? So, this is all to say that, that men in general, especially husbands, they make sacrifices and they will stay miserable in a marriage to make sure the marriage stays intact. That's another thing, man, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? I met plenty of husbands in my life, you know what I'm saying, where, they have been miserable for years and they refuse to divorce their wife, you know what I'm saying, because they still love her, you know what I'm saying? A husband can be miserable with his wife and still love her, still be in love with her, and still want to be with her. For women, I'm not too sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen it go another way, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you, women, I'm telling you, a man will sit in a marriage with you miserable as hell, and he will not leave you, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with him being ruined financially because of divorce. It has nothing to do with that. What it is that he made a sacrifice. He made a promise to God that he was going to stay with you. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of how unhappy you are, regardless of how unhappy he is, he's not going to leave you. That's just the way it is. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen sometimes. Sometimes a guy will leave, right? And then a lot of times on the back end, a woman will actually leave way before a guy does. But normally, from what I've seen, even when a guy is miserable, the husband will not leave. He won't. You know what I'm saying? He'll try to make a change. He'll try to move a certain way, you know what I'm saying? But he won't leave. He'll stay with you, you know what I'm saying? And what I would say is, from that aspect, if you are miserable in your marriage right now, I'm talking to women right now, if you're miserable in your marriage right now and you know for a fact that your husband is not happy at all, but he's still there, but in your mind, you're thinking about seriously divorcing him, right? I would encourage y'all to have a very serious talk together and do some counseling, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're extremely miserable in the marriage, I'm still talking to women, if the woman is still miserable, if the woman is miserable in the marriage right now and you know that your husband is miserable too, you have to ask yourself, why didn't he leave? Why is he still here? I want to leave, you know what I'm saying? I may not be able to leave because of the finances, you know what I'm saying? I may not be making enough money to take care of myself right now, but he is. So why is it that he's not leaving me, but I want to leave him? Ask yourself that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you one of the reasons is because he made a dedication to you. He's dedicated to you. Even though he's not happy and you're not happy, his dedication to the marriage goes way deeper than feelings. Way deeper than feelings, you know what I'm saying? Your feelings will make you leave your husband, but a husband gives a damn about his feelings. His feelings means nothing. The marriage and keeping things intact means more to him than anything else. So anyways, drop some comments in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think. That's my interpretation of how men sacrifice their happiness over marriage, for marriage. I'm gonna do a part 2 and go on the flip side and talk about women when it comes to this, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I appreciate y'all, love y'all. You want me to discuss the topic or subject, then benefit your channel. Email me asog757@gmail.com. Email address is in the description below. Say so G, signing out. I'm gone.